I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I was far from that. But I was fortunate enough to have a porcelain spoon in my early childhood. The spoon that shaped my world. At 5 years old, I already knew what it means to be truly hungry, not just for food, but for love and a place to belong. My family has so like that. At dinner, my siblings and I have to take turns using one plastic spoon. The adult, however, had a different spoon, a beautiful porcelain spoon, delicate and glowing, like it was floating in the air. To me, it was a symbol of being glow up, of being strong, of being free. One day, I finally picked it up, holding to feel its magic, but it slipped from my hand and broke. The sound of it hitting the floor seemed to go on forever. At that moment, I imagined the broken pieces becoming a window to a new world. The world that emerged from the broken pieces planted a seed in my mind. Porcelain became a magical world. How wonderful it would be if it were not fragile. How wonderful it would be if it could never break. But at 5 years old, my world was still small and closed. I was punished by my grandmother for breaking the precious spoon. I held back my tears. I did not cry. In my adult years, I wanted to learn everything about porcelain, its texture, its history, and its quiet power. Porcelain looks soft and white, almost like light. But I can survive fire and be made new again, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. At first, it's just soft clay, but it has lasted for thousands of years, inspiring people all around the world. Porcelain is China, humble, gentle, but resilient and strong. It shows us that change is always possible, like porcelain. I had to rebuild myself many times, over and over. The Wallace porcelain was created in 2018. It is 5 times stronger than steel. I spent 8 years on this journey. 8 years of trial, doubt, and endless pursuit. Many people told me it didn't make sense. Porcelain is an old subject, they say. Perhaps, but I believe all materials deserved new destinies. Porcelain breaks because its ingredients melt at different times, creating a weak structure. So I started the melting points of each of the 17 ingredients in my formula. Then I sized them. Those with higher melting points, I made smaller. Those with lower, I made larger. This way, they could melt in harmony, becoming one unified body in the oven. But that was just the beginning. Carving is also important. I find a piece, take it out, cool it, carve it, then fire it again. Take it out, cool it, carve it, then fire it again many times until the shape is just right to fit the titanium skeleton or set the gemstone. The porcelain was cool and smooth under my fingers, like touching a light. Each step was a meditation. I wasn't just carving porcelain. I was carving time, carving silence, carving memory. I've learned that failure is part of the firing. It burns away pride. It leaves only the essentials: craft, discipline, and patience. There are no shortcuts, only time, hate, and care. Everything I do, anyone can do, if they are willing to give it everything it takes. People know me as the jewelry master of contemporary China, but I was once a poor child, a student at a rooftop school, bullied by the teacher, and an educated young man, a classman knocking on all the doors you can find on Leighton Road in Shanghai, hoping only to sell a piece. Growing up poor taught me the meaning of materials. We used our hands and imagination to make things, to turn invisible ideas into something real, like starch turning into gemstone. We are shaped by memories and inspiration. Even now, I can still recall the sound of that porcelain spoon breaking. It reminds me that even we feel like we have nothing, we still have the choice to create something. I want to give that feeling of hope to the child I was, and to everyone listening today. No matter how poor, small, or tired we feel, life truly changes with every breath we take. When we are broken by the hardship of reality, we learn to rebuild ourselves too. In that process, we discover who we are. We find each other, and we keep pushing the limits of what's possible. That porcelain spoon, when it broke, it emerged anew. It was reborn. At 5 years old, I just didn't know yet. I am lucky to realize it though. Almost half a century later, I had nothing. And from that nothing emerged everything. I find myself. I find my future. Thank you.